Hey, it's Doug from NV Auto. We're going to take you for a ride in my summer daily driver, C6 Z06. Oh boy. Taking our lives in the hands, our lives in our hands right now. Driving a Corvette in the rain. This is sacrilegious. The wipers don't even work properly. It's a 2009 C6 Z or Z06, and it statistically has 36,000 kilometers on it now. I bought it as, I guess, birthday present for myself when I became old, so 2 years ago. And I've put about 19,000 K on it since I've had it, and it is a great car. It's not something I ever thought I would say about a American muscle car, but it is a great car. Kind of looked around at something to buy that was relatively cheap and has a lot of horsepower, and this car definitely ticked those boxes 100%. The biggest problem with this car is it's yellow, and when you drive it every day, everybody stares at you because it's bright, which means when you're driving on the road, you got to be a good boy because everybody recognizes the yellow Corvette. So I bought it carbone stock, drove it for one season like that bone stock, and then learned about the issues that these cars have. They have a problem with the valve train, where the valve guide clearance gets too large, and basically the valve gets cocked sideways in the guide, and it doesn't close in time, and then a piston comes up and smashes it, and it's the end of the world. And the LS7 engine that this car is equipped with is incredibly expensive to buy or even find, because it literally only got used in this and I think one CTSV, but I could be wrong. I know for sure just in this car. Anyways, so we pulled the heads off last winter, not this past, the one before, and put some bronze valve guides in it, upgraded the valve train a little bit. Nothing sporty to make more horsepower or anything like that, just to fix the issues that it has with these valve guides. And then since we were there, put a cam in it, because that's what any sensible LS owner would do. The engine was apart, might as well put a cam in it. And then we had to take the headers off to get the heads off, so might as well put headers on it when you're at that point. They're just more efficient, makes the fuel economy much better. And had to take the factory intake box out to pull the cam out, so put a cold air intake on it. But doing all those things in our normal sport compact world would not have netted you very much power. But the difference was 127 wheel horsepower with a camshaft, headers, and intake. Car still runs stock mufflers and exhaust otherwise, but just got a cam, and it's because it's an 09, it has mufflers that have the valves in it, so you can shut it up if you want. You can make it quiet. Got this little nifty keychain. Try it, see if it works. See?
Wow.
Yeah.
Should have been doing that the whole time.
Yeah, sorry, should have. So see, it's nice and quiet, everything's good. Kills all the drone. It's incognito when the police are around. And then when you need to, you can open it up and let it rip. One of my favorite things I've done to the car so far is the custom wheels I had done by Augment Wheels. They are 5-spoke, classic design, and 3-piece. I think they suit the car just perfect. The worst things about this car, and there's a few things that that get me. Number one, it's yellow, but there's nothing I could do about it. I'm cheap, and the only way to buy one of these cheap is to buy a yellow one. So if you wanted black, it would have cost me an extra $5,000. If you want blue, like an extra $7,000. There's an orange available. It's super rare, even more money. So I'm cheap, so I ended up with the yellow. But with the yellow, and with all C6 cars, you get color matched headlights, and the yellow color matched headlights in this thing make me ill. I have a set of gunmetal ones that I'm going to install to match the wheels when I get a chance, but it's like a full front bumper off kind of adventure, so I haven't done it quite yet. So that drives me insane, as well as this steering wheel drives me nuts, and some of the buttons, because if you've ever been in a Chevrolet Cobalt, the top end of Chevrolet products, you'll know that this is the exact same steering wheel as a Chevrolet Cobalt, and same with the stereo and the heater, HVAC packages. Like, this is basically, when they built these cars in these years, they just took parts out of all their other bins and chucked them in to make it the most cost-effective vehicle. And I mean, me wanting the most cost-effective sports cars, how I ended up with this, so I understand why they did it, but it's frustrating and cheap looking. I don't know. Other than that, it rides really well. It drives really nice. Last year I took this to FD St. Louis. I took it to Grid Life Midwest. I've done some major road trips with this car. For a big guy like myself, these huge seats are comfortable and lots of space, which is nice for the long trips. And it rides really smooth. Still has stock suspension in it. When I take it to the track, I put the factory wheels back on it, and I have Toyo R888Rs that I use at the track, and makes this thing super sticky. Not that the Michelins on it are not sticky, but makes it even better. But it is an incredible car, minus the cheap plastics and GM things that, they've fixed all with the new cars. They've gone in and fixed all these terrible things to make it nicer. But you can definitely drive one of these every day if you had to, as long as you're nimble for hopping in and out of it. It's good. The trunk space is huge. I've gone to pick up cases of oil and stuff before. No problem. It'll do all that stuff. No problem. It's a fairly versatile machine, besides being low. Very low to the ground. Yeah, the fuel economy in this car is actually incredibly good, considering it's a 7-liter V8. Right now we are cruising at 100 kilometers an hour, and the engine is revving at 13 or 1400 RPM, which translates to, we are now getting 5 liters per 100 kilometers in a 7-liter sports car while cruising on the speed limit here, which is pretty incredible. Where that gets very bad, though, is when you get to the racetrack, and when you're always flooring this car, the fuel economy kind of gets a little abysmal, actually. I can probably last half a day, not even really half a day at Mossport, if I'm not out every session, but it definitely uses a lot of gas. And it's actually funny at the track, because this is originally an American car. It was imported from the US. The Speedo only goes to 200 kilometers an hour, so at the rate this car accelerates, it is mind-bending how fast the Speedo moves around, because it's designed to be for miles an hour.
That is all torque all the time.
Yes, it makes the same amount of torque from 2600 RPM all the way to 7.
Oh, it smoked my head off the roof.
All right, I hope everybody enjoyed going for a quick ride in this car. Hopefully next time we take it out to the track, get some lap times dialed in, but for now, that's the update in this car. And any suspension manufacturers want to get on board, this car needs coilovers.